Alright, when using Finance Solver, it's really important whether you get negative or positive signs in the numbers that you put in. So this video is aimed at explaining when to use negative or positive. So first of all, we're going to look at loans. Okay, you can see here in this picture we've got a bank giving money to a borrower. Okay, so we'll call this person the lender, and we'll call this person the borrower. Okay, now money at the beginning of this goes to the borrower. Okay, so for that reason, the borrower gets what we call the principal value. Okay, and therefore its PV is positive, because if money's going into the person's account, we say it's positive. If it's leaving, which the borrower then pays back the loan with these payments gradually, that would be negative because it's leaving the borrower, all right, back to the lender. So you're always looking from the perspective of the little person, yeah, the borrower or the investor, not the bank. So you can see here that you'd end up with PMT being negative, and you'd end up with PV being positive. For the FV, this is a little bit trickier. The FV will be negative until the loan is paid off. Okay, because in total it needs to balance out. All right, and therefore this is because it's owed. All right, so it's also negative until the loan is paid off. Until it's paid off. Okay, if we look at an investment situation, okay, we've got this person here who is saving for retirement or something like that, and they're putting their money into an Australian super, yeah, or an investment. So in that case, they're actually putting their principal into that. Okay, so let's say they've got like 80 grand, they want to put it in something to save it. Okay, so they're actually giving it to the super, who is a separate fund entirely, and they then go and use the money to try and generate more interest and stuff like that. They also might do the same into something like shares as well. Okay, but either way, the money's leaving the investor. So we call this person the investor, and therefore it's actually negative because it's leaving them. All right. Now, the FV is therefore coming back this way, and FV means it's owed back to the investor. So this will usually be positive. If it's been invested, it's owed back to the investor. Owed back to investor. So as long as that money is invested, FV will be positive because the money is owed back to them. All right, until the money runs out. And then you've got the thing of the payment. So the payment can go either way with an investment, because you might be paying money in to save up more, or you could be paying money out, as in withdrawing money, and therefore you're taking that as a payment. So it depends on what stage you're at in your life, basically. If you're in retirement phase, then obviously you'd be taking money. So PMT would be positive. POS for retirement, okay, because they're taking money out of their savings. Whereas when you're young, or not, you know, when you're working, it's negative because money's not going that way, it's going that way, and it's saving up money. Okay, so it totally depends on the situation. Most people save up for the super, and then they retire, and then they withdraw from the super and take the money. Okay, now when we use the word annuity, you see the word annuity a lot. That's any kind of investment where they give you annual interest. That's all it means. So all of these things are annuities, all right? When we're talking about supers or investments, most of the time they're annuities. All right, so I've made this table here to sort of summarize these points. Okay, so once more, just in summary, loans, PV is usually positive because it's been borrowed. PMT is negative because it's getting paid out. And FV is usually negative because it's money that's owed to the lender still. All right, usually a bank or someone. Investments, annuities and perpetuities, so anything where the money's going outside of the person's bank account and investing it, PV is therefore negative. PMT can be positive if it's being withdrawn, or actually I should add here, it could also be negative if the person is still saving. Still saving, adding to the investment, which obviously happens quite a lot for, saving up for supers and stuff. So it depends on the sort of the stage. And then FV is positive because the money is owed back to the investor, which is the person that's put the money in there in the first place. It's owed back to them, therefore it will be positive. Okay, and hopefully that clarifies the way that you decide negative and positive.